falling to pieces in my room. Are you coming over? That's cool. I could use a little something to do. We could go outside, take a little ride if you want to. That's cool. I did what I was supposed to. There's nothing left for me to do. So now I'm walking out my head through open windows. Cause that's what I feel like. Do it tonight. Waking up my brain. Maybe you can do the same thing. You want me to say something? I come up with nothing. Maybe we can talk until we figure out a topic. Been so long in my head, caught up in my feelings. I've been waiting for something new to happen. And when it happens, I'll be dancing on the lawn when it happens. When it happens, I'll be dancing on the lawn when it happens. You want me to say something? I come up with nothing. Maybe we can talk until we figure out a topic. Been so long in my head, caught up in my feelings. I've been waiting for something new to happen. You want me to
This is day one using a dumb phone instead of a smartphone, and I will say that the phone that I chose is really growing on me. I like the looks of it. I was more excited to get this than I was ever to receive any of the iPhones that I've gotten. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's different. But the one thing that really worries me the most about this particular phone is it doesn't have Spotify and Audible. And those are like the two things that I really use the most on my iPhone. Because I love music and I love audiobooks. So I'm a little bit worried how that's going to work out. I want to go over how I'm actually going to be implementing this phone into my life. So the idea of switching from a smartphone to a dumb phone really hit me when I started to see that Gen Z is taking this serious. They know that it's really affecting our mental health. I'm not Gen Z, I'm a millennial, but I really appreciate that Gen Z likes the 90s and the early 2000s. I think that they don't get enough credit for that because being born in the 90s and growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, I really appreciate that a lot of that's coming back. And I miss having a flip phone, a cell phone. I've said a million times, I would love to go back to a flip phone. What kept me from doing that up to this point has been, quite simply, I have a job in technology and education, and so it's really difficult to go without a smartphone. However, I was tired of the excuses, and I decided I was just going to go for it. I was going to get one of these after I leave work for the day, use this phone instead of my iPhone. Basically make my iPhone unusable by either turning it off or turning off all cellular and data capabilities so that I could only use, say, the audiobooks or the music, which I'm even going to try not doing that just to see how addicted I really am to a smartphone. One of the first things you absolutely have to do when you get this phone or any phone like this is turn off predictive texting. It's terrible, it's hard to type, and it's hard to text with. And what you really want to do is just use T9. When I was typing in my contacts, I was really surprised how quickly that came back to me and how like the muscle memory was still there from typing so much like that as a teenager. Also, you might be wondering why I'm carrying around a pair of wired earbuds. I think this does support Bluetooth, so you potentially could use some Bluetooth earbuds. But what's cool is this has a built-in radio that you can only use if you use wired earbuds because it uses the metal or something in the earbuds to create an antenna effect and actually get a radio signal. And this picks up like 8 or 9 local radio stations for me, the good ones. And it's actually got a really nice, crisp, clear signal. So that's possibly one alternative to Spotify when I have this phone and I don't have my iPhone. Who in their right mind needs 2 cell phones, and who can afford 2 cell phones? It's expensive enough having one. I agree with you on that. What I've discovered is there is a cell phone company that offers service pretty cheaply if you're not wanting all of the extra smartphone features. And I just want a little bit of data in case of emergency, so that it does have Google Maps on here. I think it's a terrible version of Google Maps, but it is there. And I also want unlimited texting and like a couple hundred minutes, which you can apparently get for $10 or less a month with Tello, which is who I'm going to be trying. I am going to put a link in the description to where you can get this phone or a similar phone if this one's out of stock. I really love this one and I like the looks of it. That's why I picked it. Or a similar phone if this one is out of stock, as well as where you can get a really awesome deal. It's like a referral link. If I refer you, you get so much off of the service with Tello. It's already cheap. Anyways, you don't have to use those links, but I do appreciate it if you check them out. Even if you're just curious or interested in this stuff, I'm going to put those down in the description. Okay, so I finally got service set up. It was very simple. I got the SIM card, activated it, typed in the IMEI or IMIE or something number from this phone here, and it activated. It was very simple, actually. So I went ahead and I got the $10 plan because $10 plus taxes equals like $10.90 or something a month. Not bad at all. You get a gigabyte of data, unlimited minutes, and unlimited text. And I was just going to go with like 100, 200 minutes or something like that. But it was like $1 more to get unlimited. So that's not bad at all. So this is what I'm saying. Like if this works out, this would be a great second phone option for a lot of you who are in a situation like me, where you can't necessarily do away with your smartphone during the day, but during the evening and on weekends, you want to disconnect. This is an hour into actually officially using this after my work hours, and I feel like I'm going crazy because I keep flipping it open and checking it for messages. Like, I don't know. It's definitely proof that I check my phone way too much throughout the day, and I'm the type of person I didn't think I did that. This is day 2 using the Nokia flip phone, and I've got to say last night was really weird and difficult at times because I was watching a show, and every time that it would get a little bit slow or a little bit boring, I would look over where I normally keep my iPhone and really just have this urge to watch TikTok videos, which is strange because that's just something that I do when things get boring or whenever there's a commercial. And I couldn't do that. Looking at this, I was like, that's not possible on this little thing. I could pull up a YouTube video if I wanted to, if I was that desperate. But again, the whole point in this is to get away from all of that. And so I didn't, and it was kind of nice. After about an hour of it, I just kind of relaxed into the fact that my evening was not going to be filled with notifications and emails, which it normally is. Emails especially are something that ruin my evenings. I get hundreds of emails every day. There's so many of them are work related in the evening after my work hours, and it's not stuff that I need to be focused on. It's stuff that I need to wait until the next work day to actually focus on. So I'm really glad that I was able to experience that a little bit yesterday. It was quite nice. And it is weird having to go without a few of the little things that I do like about my smartphone. But I'm actually finding I'm really enjoying using this a lot more than I thought I would. Probably going to make a separate video just guiding you through if you're wanting to get into a flip phone or a dumb phone, how to go about that and how to actually get one set up, because I did have to go in and change a lot of the settings to use the network that I joined, which is the cheapest network I could find. And it was working really well. They use the T-Mobile towers, so it's actually quite nice. But we'll see. This is only day 2. I just went through the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru with my Nokia and was able to use my rewards card. What I did was I screenshotted the QR code that is used for the rewards card on my iPhone, and I texted it to myself last night, saved it as a photo, and what I'm doing is I'm putting all of my rewards cards as screenshots on this phone as photos into a favorites folder so that I can actually still use my rewards cards even though I don't have the apps. It's pretty cool. It worked really well. No issues. Scanned on the first time. Today is Friday, and this is my, I think, 3rd or 4th day using this as my means of communication after work hours. And this weekend, I think, is going to be the biggest challenge because I plan on using it all weekend. I just went to Walmart today to pick up a few quick things, and it was weird not paying with Walmart Pay. I don't know, it's different. It felt strange pulling this out and like snapping pictures of things and sending it and being like, oh, hey, look at this new candy bar. Would you like me to pick one up for you?" To my brother. When normally I would just do that in such a quick way on my iPhone, this took a little bit of effort, a little bit of time to do that because it's not quite as snappy. But that's okay. It felt kind of like a relief being able to shop without an iPhone because you do have these limitations. So far, guys, I don't hate it. I really do like using this phone. I'm finding that I'm really struggling with the social media aspect though, because I do use a lot of websites to look things up. Like if I see something on a commercial, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up the product. If I have a question, I'm going to Google it or post it on Reddit. And I can't do that with this. I will say though that this is shaping up to be a nice little experiment because I'm finding out that I don't need my smartphone as much as I thought that I needed my smartphone. And it's, like I said, it's quite a relief. I did get all of my songs loaded onto this last night. It took probably 20 minutes because I put maybe like 2,000 songs on a 32 gigabyte micro SD card, popped it in, and it worked. I will say though that the music app on this is nothing compared to the music app on like your smartphone. But you know what? That's the whole point. The fact that I can have my music on this is like a huge plus though, because that was something I worried about. I do use Spotify all day long. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting an MP3 player that allows for Spotify access so that I can still, when I want to listen to music, do that in a very disconnected, unconnected way because I can use the offline version of Spotify and have it download the songs. I may even just use my iPad here at home for music. The whole point though is to disconnect. Here I go again trying to connect. Seriously, if you try this even for a couple of days, you're going to be like, your mind is going to automatically go to how can I do this? How can I do this? And that's not really the point in this phone. I'm trying so hard to make this a smartphone and I need to stop and just enjoy it for what it is. So we'll see how this weekend goes. So far, so good. I'm not having quite the smartphone withdrawals that I thought that I would, but I am understanding and realizing that I have way too much comfort placed in my smartphone because I keep reaching for a phone anytime I'm the least bit bored or unentertained, and we seriously don't need to be entertained 24/7. I saw a quote the other day or read a quote or heard it somewhere, and it was something like the reason that movie night was such a big deal growing up, which for me it was a big deal. Fridays were movie night. We would rent a movie from Blockbuster and get like a pizza. So it was a really big thing to look forward to. The reason that movie night was such a big deal is because it didn't happen every night. It was something to look forward to throughout the week. Yet here we are on a daily basis giving ourselves the dopamine hit of constant access to entertainment, constant access to games, the stuff that would normally be something to look forward to, we have right in the palm of our hand. And so nothing really seems quite as good as it used to because of that. And it really makes sense. I love that though. Movie night was special because it wasn't every night. If you want to have movie night every night now, you definitely can. We have Netflix, Amazon Prime, like all of those streaming services. That's a whole nother thing. But in terms of using this, I'm really liking this experiment so far. So keep following me. Let's go into the weekend and see how it goes. Okay, so I've spent pretty much the entire weekend using this phone. I even went on a little road trip and used this phone, solely this phone. I noticed today, because I normally carry my wallet with my case that's attached to my iPhone, that I did not have my wallet. So that's something I'm gonna have to remember when I go shopping, because I've got it as an actual wallet now. So that's just something different that I'll have to keep track of. This weekend, I feel like, has been one of the longest weekends of the year, which means I'm definitely feeling the effects of having more time to spend on what I want versus social media and what I really thought that I was enjoying before. I think that this is a huge improvement for me. I'm going to continue to use it. I'm actually really liking this phone. I feel like at some point I maybe could even switch over to it solely as my cell phone versus having my work phone plus this phone. So far, so good. I'm loving the effect that this is having on my day, on my time, and really on my stress level. I just don't feel like I constantly have to be on the phone for something. I have been reaching for the phone quite a bit, and I think that's just a habit because I keep picking this up thinking I'm going to be doing something on it when I don't need to. And there's not really a lot to do on this phone besides text and call. Service has been great so far. I probably will do a video going over how to get one of these set up. If you're interested in that, make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can get this phone and another choice that is a really good one that I had a hard time picking between the two, as well as a link where you can get a really cool discount on Tello service, which I'm currently paying like $10 a month for unlimited calling, unlimited texting, and a gigabyte of data, which the data is going to be good just for sending like MMS messages and maybe accessing Google in case of an emergency, that type of thing. I don't think you can beat the price. I'm just excited to have this. It's kind of a lifestyle changer at the moment. So again, if you're interested, check out those links in the description. Let me know in the comments if you think that you could use one of these. Make sure you're subscribed because I plan on doing quite a few more videos featuring my dumb phone, which is actually a smarter decision, I think, than getting a smartphone at this point. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. Like, seriously, what are your thoughts about this? Because it's a pretty relevant topic now. It keeps getting more and more popular. And I'll see you guys later.
Falling to pieces in my room.